Folks, nice to see you today. Thanks for joining. Um, just give it a couple of more minutes for those like me who were 10-month babies. And I think it's a lot of folks have taken to listening to the podcast at their leisure or at their convenience, which you can do, of course, visiting our website. You can see any of the podcasts. But always happy to see folks uh, join us. So whether you know me or have met me or not, my name's Wayne Elliott. I'm the president of the Strauss Naturals company. And I started out a customer years ago, 30 years ago, because 35 years ago, I had a heart attack at 37 years ago at age 35. I had a heart attack. I was just doing a bunch of reading as well about milk and these studies that have been completed, large studies. Jim Strauss always said dairy was no good for us unless our mother is a cow, cow's milk. I drank as much as any human I know it, between milk, which I loved, and milkshakes, which I loved more, and had a Dairy Queen restaurant. I drank them morning till night, but I drank a tremendous amount of milk in my life. And I quit when I was 30 years old. Somebody told me I would lose weight, and this was before I met Strauss, and I did quit then drinking white milk. But this is very interesting, the study. It said that the only humans could benefit from cow's milk. There were some benefits for babies up to 2 years old. Of course, nowhere near as good as breast milk, the mother's milk. But after 2 years old, there is no benefit, according to this, to humans to drink milk. And drinking 3 or more glasses a day is apparently harmful in many ways to our bodies. And they're questioning as well the kefir and yogurts. It was very interesting, actually, how limited the benefit is and that there is a downside to it. Strauss always said that anything dairy was not for us from cows. So, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm sure there's still lots of milk drinkers out there, but it's proven, it's a fact. It isn't good for us. So we'll get into some other things now. Just some comments about various things that have nothing to do really with the Strauss formulas. It's just information I'd like to share with you from my own experience, from my Strauss teachings over so many years, and some very important information too. So to start at the top, it is about Strauss formulas. My first comment is they do not contraindicate with any pharmaceutical. They're as different as man-made chemical drugs and food. That's how different they are when they're 100% natural, which the Strauss formulas are, all herbal formulas. In 46 years commercially available, the family has made medicine for 8 generations, but commercially available as the Strauss company. There has not been one complaint to the FDA in the United States, to Health Canada here in Canada, or to the Strauss company of any serious or harmful effect to not one person. So I think it's safe to assume it's safe. There are no harmful ingredients, of course. They're all natural herbs. They're 100% natural. And of course, the Strauss 100% satisfaction guarantee is important to note. You cannot be taken for your money if you're not satisfied. And people are very satisfied with with the formulas. That's for sure, based on our sales and in 7 countries and so few returns. But no one is cheated. No one is out their money if they're not satisfied. So to start these other very important points, we need enough good water. Our bodies are 62% water. Our lungs are over 80% water. The likes of our bladder and kidneys and prostate needs that flow of water. It has a cleansing effect, and we need water. The best way to start your day is with a large two, if you can do it. I usually do 2 16-ounce glasses of room temperature or warmer water. Our bodies need to warm the water to 98.6 degrees. That's our ideal body temperature for the body to be able to use the water. So drinking cold water isn't as good as drinking warm water. But start your day before the coffee, before anything. I put a lemon in mine. I also put my granular vitamin C in there because it is granular and I have to put it in something. And I drink 2 16-ounce glasses. It's just the best way to start your day. Your sinuses need water to make mucus so that we can clear ourselves out. Dehydration is a Schedule A disease. It can kill you. And, the average person really ideally, and not many people would do this, would want to have 8 or 9 bottles a day of the single serving bottles, 10 or 12 ounce, whatever they are, 8 or 9 a day. Most of us don't feel like that, and you really should, even if you're hungry, force a glass of water. You can't go wrong. If you put lemon in it, you're doing many other things, including giving your liver a little knock. If you're constipated, you shouldn't stay constipated if you start your day that way. The vitamin C, and maybe most importantly, nature's magic, when we ingest the lemon juice, which is acidic, it is, by nature, our bodies convert it to alkaline. And which, what we want to do is to keep our body as close to the alkaline state, pH state, as possible. An acidic body environment is where most of the bad things can happen to us. Not only parasites and bacteria and other creatures that feed on the acidic foods and acids, but cancer can only grow in an acidic environment. Trying to grow cancer in an alkaline environment would be kind of like trying to grow tomatoes in your driveway. So it's just so important. I believe lemon is one of the 5 best medicinal herbs, together with green cabbage, onions, garlic, and cayenne pepper. In my opinion, over these years and my teachings from Jim Strauss, they would be the top 5. There's lots of wonderful herbs in the herbal kingdom, and it's historically well known and shown and proven that what each of them can help with, what they do. And the Strauss family had an incredible talent to put these formulas together as they did so effectively with multiple. It takes 2 or more herbs to have any kind of healing effect. One herb, like white willow bark, great for pain relief. That's nature's aspirin, and that's what's in aspirin. White willow bark is in aspirin. I don't know why they add the other chemicals. White willow bark's good for your stomach, easy on your stomach. You can't hurt yourself, and it does work. So again, need enough water. Death starts in the colon, so constipation is not something we want to live with. You want to have a bowel movement at least once a day, and you wouldn't stay in the kitchen very long if you didn't take the trash out, to put it another way. Stomach ailments, including ulcer. Like magic, European sauerkraut. That means 2 ingredients. Very important. No wine, no vinegar. Green cabbage and salt. That's the 2 ingredients in European sauerkraut. And if you eat 2 or 3 forkfuls, chew it well before any meal or any snack, uh, in 10 to 12 days, you have a new stomach lining, basically. Our stomach lining is largely sodium. Tremendous healing effects. It's also better than any probiotic that you can buy. They're expensive as well. I've seen some for $100 a bottle. Fermented vegetables, and the best being sauerkraut, is, I've had 2 naturopaths say, 100 times better as a probiotic than anything you can buy in the store. I'm not trying to hurt the sales of probiotics, but I'm trying to share information. A jar of sauerkraut maybe costs $3 or $4 or $5. I don't know anymore. We always have a couple of jars ahead, but it is very well worth it. Amazing how fast it works if you are having issues. So that's sauerkraut for stomach. Crohn's colitis, serious. A lot of people suffering today. And it's basically the inability to digest fiber. Ironically, there's one cure: fiber. The people that cannot digest it, it's the only thing that will help them. If you've talked with anybody with Crohn's colitis, they suffer. The medications don't do what they hope they would do. And it's just a terrible thing. Some people pretty much starve to death or near starve to death. Other people don't get so skinny like that. It's different, I guess, between folks, but I've met some that were basically, close to death. Young woman, 25 years old, never stopped bleeding, like her period never stopped, had transfusions twice a week. And the fix is pretty simple. You must have fiber. So there's 2 things, and it's reasonable in cost for sure. The one thing that you may need to stay on for life is what they call digestive enzymes. I use the brand by now called super enzymes. These are digestive enzymes, vegetable enzymes in capsules. And it's kind of like having a shredder in your stomach to help break down the food and fiber. It'll also have the effect, if you're constipated, of helping you go to the bathroom. The second thing, in addition to and they should be eaten before the digestive enzymes before any food, snacks, meals. The other thing is, for a period of time, not forever, in my estimation, the people that I've dealt with and helped with this, 3 to 4 weeks, you put all your food, whatever you're going to eat, from spaghetti and meatballs, roast beef dinner, bacon and eggs. Bacon's not good for you. That's for sure. It's a number 1 carcinogen, tasty as it is. But anything you're going to eat, turkey dinner, you put in the blender, you make it like baby food. It's going to taste the same. It's going to taste exactly the same, but that's breaking down the fiber for you. And then you have to chew well. Digestion starts with the saliva in our mouth. I hope everybody can hear me all right. I keep getting a sign flashing that my internet connection's unstable. I've been having trouble out here for a while, so please let me know if at some point you can't hear me. So Crohn's colitis, you need the fiber. That's the only thing that will help you. The fact that you cannot digest fiber. So between chewing properly, digestive enzymes to help you break it up, and blending your food for a period of time, probably about a month, that's the secret. It's not expensive. It works. And as I say, you may, I think it's a good idea if everybody stayed on digestive enzymes. Strauss doesn't make any, but I think they're a good thing to take just in the aid of digestion, because you're going to have the next meal and you're going to have the meal after that. And occasionally we overeat. So blending foods for a period of time, digestive enzymes. The one thing that you cannot eat with Crohn's colitis, even in a blender, is apple skins. They're just too tough to digest. Having those issues, Crohn's colitis, they're too tough. So even when you blend them, you must peel an apple. Do not eat the peel. Weight loss. This is so important. First, I'll share not a secret, but something with you. Green coffee bean extract. Once again, Strauss does not make it. I had a link sent to me years and years ago. I was in Florida with my mother, asking me what I thought of this, and it was Dr. Oz on the Oprah show, and there were four different things. Two of them were pharmaceuticals, but there were four different things with respect to weight loss. One of them was the green coffee bean extract, and what I liked and tried, it claims to take sugar out of your blood. I don't take them every day. If I'm going to have some ice cream or two hot dogs and eat those buns, or toast with jam, all things you shouldn't eat, really, I will take the green coffee bean extract. And my mother, because she was a diabetic and tested her blood every day, we really got to test this with her. Her and I both did it. And when she had a piece of cake or pie, instead of her blood sugar going to 13 or 15, it was 7 or 8. And for the most part, Mom was able to keep hers at 6 or under. We both lost a bit of weight. Sugar is a good thing to get rid of. So I really believe in the green coffee bean extract. I order it 6 bottles at a time because there's times they seem to be out of stock. So that's just a tip. Now, so it could help with weight loss, and it sure can help with sugar. That we know. Slow eating slowly, chewing properly, enjoying your food like we're supposed to. That's the first key to weight loss, because you'll realize that you've had enough. You're satisfied sooner. I used to, as I was getting full, rush to finish my food. Not a smart thing to do. As much as I hate waste, it was raised that waste was a sin. But to eat it for the sake of eating it when you're full isn't smart. And chew thoroughly. You will eat less in the end. As I said, digestion starts with our saliva. Swallowing chunks, like I used to do, or not chewing well, it causes our liver to have to produce more fat to digest that food. And it has to produce enough because the next meal is coming and the one after that. So it can't completely back up on us. Jim Strauss said to me the first time he saw me eat, he bet that I could put my finger on my tongue and my liver will start producing fat, knowing what's coming. So slow down, you'll eat less. When I did this with the green coffee bean and consciously slowed down my eating, took my time, my mother and I'd have conversations while we were having a meal. I lost 20 pounds in 1 month. That's years ago. And I've been able to keep it off, which is amazing to me. For years now, my weight varies 2 or 3 pounds, 195 to 200. And I'm happy about that. Most of my life as an adult, I was bigger than that. I certainly was bigger than that as a football player. And my mom was certainly happy with the results of keeping her sugar down. She tested herself, as I said, all the time. Now, here's what's really, really important about weight loss. First of all, obesity is almost an epidemic today. They say that 60% of Americans are obese. It isn't their fault. We don't have the right foods anymore. Genetically modified foods, fast foods, that have too much salt, too much sugar, and it's available to us everywhere. And it's easy and it's tasty, of course. I think we're addicted to salt and sugar, really. a few years ago, Health Canada said that a small 1/4 pound hamburg patty at, I don't want to say their name, but the biggest drive-through burger place in the world, the salt in one patty was more than we could tolerate. So uh, they are both white death of their own way, table salt and white sugar, that's for sure. Um, but here's what's important. They say the average of us has 30 pounds of waste and toxins in us. That's a lot. It's hard to believe, really, but that's what they say. So, for the sake of easy arithmetic, let's assume that a 300-pound person, a 300-pound human that wants to be 200 pounds and so goes on whatever diet regime, exercise, whatever they're going to do to lose that weight. What is highly important, vitally important, is that if they haven't already, they need to detox and cleanse as they're on this weight loss program. To do otherwise, let's say the person's successful and they go from 300 pounds to 200 pounds. If they haven't cleansed and detoxed, their body mass, the percentage of waste and toxins, went from 10% to 15%. And I'm sure if you think about it, we all know people that have lost a lot of weight, not looked good. I'd say the first big sign is uneven color, red, blotchy face. And they often get sick and not long after die. You've got to take the garbage out. You've got to cleanse and detox. The Strauss formulas do have that effect, right down to helping us with bacteria, mucus in our kidney, bladder, prostate. The heart drops to help cleanse our veins, vessels, and arteries. These toxins weigh something. So the one benefit is, I mean, if you were 300 pounds, my old best pal and former football teammate, Joe, when he moved into my house, he was 400 pounds and everything was wrong with him. I mean, literally everything: congestive heart failure, enlarged heart, tumor on his kidney, diabetes, sleep apnea, red and blue legs, 3 black toes. He's a very, very sick man. And he was 400 pounds. And I had him, we did it together, a complete cleanse. It took all the Strauss formulas, relative formulas in those days, which were more than we have today. Happy to say our liver, lymphatic, and parasite formulas are coming back in liquid form as soon as they're approved by Health Canada and the FDA. Should be before the end of the year. I'm ecstatic about that, the lymphatic formula. Lymphatic's like the infantry to our defense department, which is our immune system. If our lymphatic system is dirty, jammed, plugged up, our immune system cannot work effectively. And so a great prevention is detoxing and cleansing the lymphatic system. And you'll know it's working because you'll smell worse than usual. This is old stuff that's in us. And the liver, the same thing. That is our big filter. All the chemicals that we've had from any source, including sprays and so forth on our fruit and vegetables, plastics, drugs that we've taken and been administered, prescriptions, smoking, drinking. It's chemicals. We're surrounded with chemicals. So we want to, and they do weigh something. Joe lost, now, some of it was from some exercise, which was real slow going to start because he couldn't stay awake for a minute at a time when he first moved in here for the first couple of months. But I had him detoxing and eating much more healthy than he had been. No pound cakes, no shortbreads, none of that. And Joe lost just shy of 60 pounds in 2 months. I think that goes to show you how much waste and toxins we can have in us. So back to what I was saying before. So there will be more than 30 pounds of toxins and waste in a 300-pound person. It just makes sense if the average person has 30 pounds in them. I have a feeling my friend Joe at 400 pounds had something more than 60 pounds. When he left my house, just shy of 2 years later, he was 240 pounds, and none of those ailments affected him. None of them. He did wear his mask at night for the sleep apnea, but he didn't suffer any of those things. He was so close to death, it was crazy. But that weight loss, he would have died had he not cleansed at the same time. There's no question about that. And it was good for me, of course, to do for myself. So you're going to lose a serious amount of weight. I would say more than 20 or 30 pounds. Do that for yourself and be conscious of cleansing and detoxing. Exercise, we all know. The Creator gave us arms and legs for a reason. We should use them. It doesn't have to be strenuous exercise, especially when you get into your senior years. Just movement. You can stretch it in bed, before sleeping and when you wake up. If you're lucky and you have a garden, on your hands and knees, picking weeds and picking your produce, for a half an hour, it's great stretching. Fresh air, you're in the dirt with all those other creatures, very, very healthy and builds immunity. One of the most important things, folks, it is said that colds, flus, and so forth, 45% of them start in our throat. Stretch your throat. I do it every day. Look up. We hardly ever look up. We're always looking down or the computer screen or where we're walking or our phones. Look up, stretch, make faces, grit your teeth. Use all those muscles and stretch them. You'll hear it's like potato chips crunching sometimes. If you have a sore throat, you'll be amazed the difference that makes, for example. Just a very healthy thing to do for our throat, our whole body to stretch, our necks. I want to say something else to you. So many of us have sore backs and or you've had injuries in the back, and it can be very uncomfortable. I've had sciatic from time to time since I was 15 years old, and it's debilitating. So there's a few exercises I do to prevent that. But the best investment I've ever made was in an exercise ball. I have 3 different sizes. I really only use the mid-size and the big one. If I do leave home without it on any kind of trip, I always go to Walmart or Kmart, whatever store is there, and I buy one. They're $20 to $25 each, depending on where you buy them. And I'll tell you, when I played ball, I went to the chiropractor most every day for adjustment. On weekends to their homes, I would go. Since this ball that I've had now for almost 30 years, I've been using an exercise ball. I don't exercise on it. I roll on it with my back next to a chair so I can hold myself steady. You don't want to fall off and bang your head on the floor or anything like that. And you relax on the ball, and you're going to feel the tension, the tightness in your back. Slow, deep breathing as you're on the ball, and move around so that you cover your whole spine, right from the middle of your butt or the top part of your rear end, right up to your neck. And stretch your arms. For a lot of it, you'll have your hands behind your head like this, because I don't know about you, but if my head droops for very long, it makes me dizzy. I have adjustments of between 3 and 8. I was working slugging soil yesterday. So last night there were 8 cracks in my back when I rolled on that ball. And afterwards, boy, oh boy, I can straighten up. The pain is gone. When you do this, you may also notice you could get dizzy when you stand up, the surge of nerve energy. So I always end up sitting on the ball for a minute or two, taking some more breaths, and then I get up. That nerve energy can make you feel anything from a little nauseated to dizzy as that nerve energy rushes back where you've had obstructions or subluxations, as they call it in the chiropractor world. So that ball's worth its weight in gold. I haven't been to chiropractors for decades now. So I really suggest you consider it for yourself. Years ago, I bought our whole staff. I bought 180 balls. I felt so strongly about it. How many of them use it, I don't know. 3 of the people in our head office, they ended up using it as their chair, and they would stretch on it when they felt like it. But they had trouble sitting in a regular chair, these 3 folks. Strauss always said, if you're not made from it, it cannot fix you. And for us to expect, now they don't claim, pharmaceuticals don't claim to heal or cure or fix us. They generally deal with symptoms. High blood pressure, they'll deal with your numbers. If it fixed you, your doctor could say, Christine, your blood pressure's perfect. You can quit taking the pills. I've never heard that happening anywhere. In fact, when they lowered the ideal blood pressure years ago from 140 over 80 to 130, I think over 70 or 80, tens of millions of people ended up on medication after that. And the notion that the 80-year-old grandma should have the same blood pressure as the 16-year-old granddaughter who's an athlete doesn't make sense to me. We do wear our parts. So, but it doesn't mean high blood pressure is good. It isn't. But for us to expect pharmaceuticals to actually heal us would be like taking our car to the lumber yard to fix with 2x4s and plywood. You can't do it. You need cells that we're made from, like herbs, like plants. We all came from the water, and they're the only things that can help our body to heal. Our body has tremendous healing powers, but man-made chemicals are not any part of healing. We tend to think as humans, it seems to be human nature, that these things will happen to somebody else. When we're healthy, we think it won't happen to us. Well, when you look at the facts, more than 50% of all men after age 60 will have a serious prostate issue. Serious prostate issue. My dad was scheduled in Boston for a prostatectomy. I didn't know he'd been on pills for 2 years, but he said they're not working apparently, and I have to have it taken out. And I convinced him because the heart drops had Boston cancel his open heart surgery. My dad never had that surgery. And the prostate, I convinced him to take the formula for 3 months, went back to Boston. They canceled his surgery, and my dad died about 13 years later with a healthy prostate. So it's not that you can't be helped, you can, but to expect drugs to fix or heal us, it just doesn't happen. It's not scientifically possible, really, when you think of it. We need materials or cells that we're made from. Women today, tragically, have slightly more heart attacks than men. You ladies that have had a career and still have a house and children to manage, and our ladies are very busy, hardworking. They have their stresses every bit as much as any man does, and they now have more heart attacks than men do. So, for heart health, in my opinion, there is nothing like the Strauss heart drops. If a person has high blood pressure, our doctors can't tell us whether it's our heart or our kidneys. All the great diagnostic equipment that is available today, they can't tell us which it is, heart or kidneys, or both, or it could be one kidney. With mine, after that heart attack, I did develop high blood pressure, and 2 natural therapists, one an iridologist, one a reflexologist, great men, both these people. They were my medicine men exclusively, really, in those days, along with Jim Strauss. They said it was my left kidney. There was some issue with my left kidney. So the heart drops after almost 5 months had not lowered my blood pressure. And that's when Jim Strauss said to me, he was the third one to say, then it's your kidneys. If you've been on the heart drops almost 5 months and your blood pressure's still high, then it is your kidney or both kidneys. I didn't even know they had other formulas other than heart drops. I had just heard about the heart drops, bought a bottle, about 100 bottles for my second one when I wanted to do my own little study, about 100 bottles. And when I met Jim in my 5th month taking it, I realized they had a lot of products. So I took that kidney blood pressure, and in 3 months, my blood pressure stayed at 120/70 for over 25 years until I got myocarditis 2 or 3 years ago after getting COVID 3 times, which was nothing for me, the COVID, but I got myocarditis. Um, and then my blood pressure went all over the place. But the only thing that I took back then was the Strauss heart drops and the Strauss kidney formula. And when I got the myocarditis, I didn't take any drugs. I took the heart drops, the kidney formula, and the CardioCalm, which I had taken years ago because I developed an irregular heartbeat, supraventricular tachycardia, they called it. I refused all the Western medicine treatment. I never took a pill. I didn't have a surgery. I refused everything. So the only thing I took was those 3 Strauss formulas. I no longer had the irregular heartbeat. And again, with the myocarditis, the inflammation of the heart a couple of years ago, my heartbeat went irregular again. And the only thing I've done since the myocarditis, no pills, no drugs, no procedures, is take those 3 formulas again: Strauss heart drops, Strauss kidney, and CardioCalm. And in the US, we call it cardio support. That is all I've taken. So nobody can tell me that something else helped or worked, because it didn't. Of course, I take vitamins and I take minerals. I take various supplements. I was telling you, the green coffee bean extract. But in terms of my medicine, it's been the Strauss formulas. And I'm now in my 73rd year. And after that heart attack, it's 37 years since that. And since the myocarditis, it's just, I don't know, I think it's 2 years now since. And I'm back to full strength. The 3 of our employees, their children caught myocarditis. 30-year-old woman, she was 22 months getting back to work. A 21-year-old man, he's still not 100%, his dad tells me, but he was 6 months before he started even any kind of exercise. I was 3 months. Starting with light exercise, walking and stuff. And the 17-year-old hockey player, they were all hospitalized. They were all intensive care for a period of time, and they were all on different drugs, which said to me, boy, this is rare, or the doctors aren't communicating with each other, because not one of them was taking one of the same things that the others were. So all I took was what I told you, the Strauss formulas, and I'm back in the saddle and happy and doing well. One thing I wanted to mention, because people love their pets. This company here, MycoPet. You can Google them or go on the internet, mycopet.com. This brilliant young lady that owns this company, it's mostly all about the gut and immune system. It turns out our animals, dogs, cats, horses, are not much different than us. So much happens in our gut and our stomach. So much is controlled there that it's very important. It's the same with our animals. If your dog has skin issues, rashes, itching, itchy ears, dirty ears, things like this, trouble with his food, stomach, I urge you to check this out, MycoPet. This lady's parents were both veterinarians specializing in horses. And as I said, she's brilliant, has started this business a couple of years ago, and it's going very well. And the products work. Again, they're natural, and they do well for your pets. So just wanted to mention that. The other thing that I use, I brought it into Canada. Actually, we don't have anything to do with selling it are making it oxidized silver, ionic silver solution. What it is oxygen and silver bonded together. Oxygen is the best cleaner on the planet. Silver is the best bug killer on the planet. So together, I'll tell you, it's something. I rinse it in my mouth. It takes the plaque off your teeth. I spray it in my eyes. You could spray it in a baby's eyes. I gargle with it. But if I get something in my eyes, I have hay fever. If my eyes get itchy or sore or get dust in them, I use the super silver. I just spray it in my eyes like this. And it's just a great product. There's various manufacturers. As I say, Strauss doesn't have anything to do with it, but I really recommend it. If you have a cut or a burn, you have a wound that you're having trouble healing, that's bacteria and other creatures that are eating at our open wound. That's why sometimes it's difficult to heal. You get oxidized silver, you will be amazed. Soak a gauze bandage, put it on that burn. You'll be amazed in 24 hours what happens. I've worked, our men use torches and lances and at the ship breaking business, and they've got burnt different times. It's amazing, the silver, and it can't hurt you, of course. Again, this company is Mission Falls Premium Ionic Silver Solution. But there are others, and it's 10 parts per million silver. The industrial form for hospitals, I believe, is 25 parts per million. So it's just great and it works. So I'm just sharing that information with you. Again, nothing to do with Strauss or what we do or how we do our business, but information I wanted to share with you that I felt important. That weight loss, especially if you're going to lose a lot, you need to be conscious of taking the garbage out at the same time. You wouldn't stay in the kitchen long if you didn't take out the trash. Simple as that. So why is our bodies any different? If you don't change your furnace filter or the filter in your vehicle or your tractor, it won't keep running either. So if you think of it as maintenance, cleaning our organs and liver and bladder and kidneys and prostate and circulation system, of course, with the Strauss heart drops. It's just the best thing you can do. I certainly don't believe I'd still be alive at my 73rd year if not for these products. It was no pharmaceuticals because I've taken none. I never did like to take them. But I sure have not taken them in these last 30 years. So natural is the way to go, and be diligent about it. Now there's a couple of questions. Hard to say, Lisa, with respect to the aortic valve. When I got that myocarditis, I did some damage to my aortic artery and the plug they call it the plug, where it plugs into my heart, where both are now a larger diameter than the largest Western medicine says they should be. So I'll let you know in my case, because that's all I'm taking. As far as a valve goes, sometimes that requires surgery. To fix or replace a valve. My old back catcher, at age 29, he had to have a valve replaced. And because when you're young, they don't use the pigskin valve. He had a metal one. And he said, if you stood close to him, he sounded like a Timex watch ticking. So I honestly don't know the answer to your question. Heart drops seem to help everyone's heart. It only makes sense. Would I take them if I was you? You bet I would. Christine wants me to repeat what I said about it being kidneys instead of the heart for high blood pressure. There's only two sources, kidneys or one kidney and the heart. It can be both, but I think for the most part, it's one or the other. And what I say to folks that if they don't care what it is, they just want it fixed, then take both the Strauss heart drops and the Strauss kidney formula and your satisfaction is guaranteed. That's all I can tell you. Uh, it's just great. Our heart and our kidneys are so closely related. They're both responsible in a way for our blood pressure, for example, and they're just very closely connected in that respect, and with circulation, blood pressure, and all the rest of it. So high blood pressure, Strauss heart drops, Strauss kidney formula. Lori asks, will kidney formula help detox kidneys to improve the filtration rate? You bet. Absolutely. That's the whole point. When you look at the ingredients of these formulas as well, and I'm going to review some of them with you. When you look at the ingredients, um, these are not simple formulas. Our most complex formula is the menopause formula for our ladies. There are 20 separate herbs in that formula. Strauss didn't put herbs into a formula for fun. They put in everything they believed they needed. We're like snowflakes. There's no two of us identical. We're just like snowflakes and pine trees. So there's no two of us identical. And they tried to put the herbs together that would work for all of us. And they've done such a masterful job. Christine, um, yes, thank you. The kidneys make sense because I've recently read regarding more stuck lymphatics in the legs to look at kidneys. You bet your kidneys, your liver, your bladder, your blood system. I mean, the heart drops seem to make everything work better. Why? Because the heart drops seek for you to have blood flow every single inch of that 50,000 kilometers of vessels we each have in us, twice around the earth. You can't even see some of them, the tiny capillaries going to your skin and so forth, right up to your largest arteries, your heart arteries and your carotid arteries that feed your brain. Our circulatory system, our blood flow is our most important body function. Evidence of that, the 50,000 kilometers of vessels inside us, because every single cell needs blood. Every one, from the hair on our head to our toenails, every cell of the billions of cells need blood. So, the thing I have against bypass surgery, and let's talk about the pain and discomfort and healing to start with. They saw you open like a tuna, crank your ribs back. It was certainly suggested to me, and I don't think I'll ever have that. But um, and then they'll take a vessel from elsewhere in your body, generally your legs or your arm, where it belonged, where the creator put it in the first place to carry blood. And so if you had a triple bypass, you're maybe, just by average, pardon me, it might be a foot and a half or two of vessels that do belong somewhere else inside you out of the 50,000 kilometers of vessels in your body. The Strauss heart drops want to make blood flow everywhere we have a vessel or vein, to the tiniest, tiniest vessels, our capillaries, our eyes, our ears, very, very tiny vessels. That cholesterol doesn't stop in our heart arteries or our carotids. It doesn't just give us heart attacks and strokes or brain attacks because of lack of oxygen, because of restricted blood flow. There are many other things. Our blood carries everything: our food, our water, our wastewater, our medicine, our waste. Everything must travel through the blood. The one exception is the lymphatic system, which carries the likes of immune cells. But our blood system carries the all-important oxygen and all those other things. So it is the most important body function. There was another question here. I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss. Darn it, I'm having trouble getting my oh, I just screwed something up. Trouble scrolling down here. Will hard drops make a difference? No, I think I must have missed it, and I can't figure out how to scroll here. But And you can speak up if you want to unmute yourself and ask the question. There's no problem. So let's start with the heart drops and look at the ingredients. Lisa, what's your question? You're muted, Lisa. You're muted. There you go.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Earlier on, you said with an aortic valve, they won't do surgery on me. It's not bad enough. And I have no other heart issues. I just, I take a lot of herbs. I wondered if the heart drops might, I'm 85 and totally healthy. I just wondered if the heart drops might help with that. I'm sorry, my computer stopped working. I lost you for a
I
bit.
think it's the I think it's the best thing you could do to get to 86, the Strauss
Right.
heart drops. Uh,
Okay.
you just can't go wrong with them, you know. You just can't. Of course, they saved my life, changed my life, my dad's, my mom's, so many people. I'm so passionate about it and such a believer. So I would try it if I were you. And if you're not satisfied, just call the company, get your money back.
Uh, And I can get them in the UK now. I tried to get them 3 years ago, and I sort of followed the formula and made it up from herbal tinctures myself. Um, but I think now we can get them in the UK.
I think you can. And don't
That's
be
great.
tricked by knockoffs and copycats because one of the big
No,
secrets
no.
is the aging process, which will remain a secret with Strauss. But anyway, I'm glad you're doing so well, and I'm going to
Thank you.
talk more about the heart drops now.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, dear. The ingredients, folks: extract of aged garlic, extract of hawthorn berry, hawthorn leaf, cayenne pepper, bilberry leaf, motherwort, white willow bark, and European mistletoe. Um, that's the ingredients. And boy, the synergistic value there and how it all works. The white willow bark, as I said before, is nature's aspirin, nature's pain reliever. It's in there and it's very good for us. Hawthorn is so well known in Europe. It's in the heart healthy cereals and so forth. But all these herbs, you could look at pubmed.gov and see clinical studies, hundreds and hundreds of them on aged garlic, and on most of these other herbs. They're for centuries. There's a backup and information. So just to cover a few, garlic lowers blood pressure and improves circulation, aids in the treatment of heart disorders and circulatory problems, helps detoxify the body and protect against infection by enhancing our immune function. Hawthorn dilutes the coronary blood vessels, lowers cholesterol levels, and restores damaged heart muscle. Useful for anemia, cardiovascular, and circulatory disorders, high cholesterol, and lowered immunity. Cayenne improves circulation, aids digestion, helps repair the stomach lining. It acts as a catalyst for other herbs. It's good for the heart, kidneys, lungs, pancreas, spleen, and stomach. It's an excellent stimulant and helps lower cholesterol levels. It's just I guess the proof's in the pudding when it comes to the Strauss heart drops. Definitely one of the family's newer formulas, made in 1979 for Jim Strauss after a massive heart attack. He refused the surgery. They wanted to do a quadruple bypass in Vancouver Hospital. He took a medical helicopter home, and one afternoon, him and his son Peter they told him what was wrong with him, clogged arteries. They decided what they needed, and with a gram scale and chewing the herbs, in several hours, they came up with the formula. It's never changed. They came up with the formula. Pete made a tincture, and they didn't know how much Jim should take. So it turns out he was drinking about a 3-week supply every day. And in 2.5 weeks, he walked to his mailbox, and in 6.5 weeks, he went back to work for 25 years. No surgery, no pills. That's Jim Strauss himself. It's one of our newer formulas because most of the formulas, even the ones we're bringing back, are some of them hundreds of years old. So the heart drops we've covered. The cardio calm, or cardio support, as it's called in America, is for two things really. I took it because of my irregular heartbeat. And in 3 months, my heartbeat went regular for years, decades, until I got that myocarditis. It was incredible. So did my friend Joe's arrhythmia. He had a crazy arrhythmia. He was lucky, though, he didn't feel every misbeat. I did. Um, and the ingredients are of the cardio calm or cardio support: hawthorn berry, sarsaparilla root, skullcap root, peppermint leaf, mistletoe leaf, and hawthorn leaf. That's the ingredients. Very effective, great formula. It also helps the body repair damaged heart cells. This formula does. And it's amazing what some of these herbs do. Hawthorn, we covered in the last heart drop. Skullcap herb improves circulation, strengthens the heart muscle, and aids with sleep. Peppermint leaf, soothing to the system, as well as strengthening the heart muscles, brings oxygen into the bloodstream. Mistletoe leaf acts on the circulatory system. It increases, then lowers blood pressure. Can also constrict blood vessels and stimulate the heartbeat, useful for heart disease. I love that formula because of all the things I suffered after the heart attack. The irregular heartbeat drove me the craziest because I felt every one 24 hours a day. And I was so glad to be rid of that. The Strauss kidney and blood pressure formula. I'll read the ingredients: juniper berry, uva ursi leaf, marshmallow root, goldenrod, parsley leaf. I'm amazed at all the things parsley can do. Ginger root, horsetail, golden seal root. That's nature's strongest antibiotic herb, golden seal root. It's in the kidney formula, the bladder formula, and the Strauss prostate formula. Very important, helping the body get rid of bacteria. Where am I here? Golden seal root, nettle leaf, gravel root, and lobelia. So the juniper berry, used in acute and chronic, it's used in acute and chronic urinary tract inflammation or infection, stimulates the flow of urine by raising the rate of glomerulus filtration, the process by which blood is purified and the water filtered out. Acute nephrinic illness, juniper berry will return the renal epithelium to normal secretory action. Uva ursi leaf, useful for kidney and bladder infections, diabetes, and prostate disorders. Promotes excretion of fluids, strengthens the heart muscle and fights bacteria. Soothes, strengthens, and disinfects and tones mucous membranes of the urinary passage. Helps as well to reduce accumulations of uric acid. Marshmallow root, good for kidney problems, fluid retention, bladder infection, digestive upsets, headaches, intestinal disorders, sinusitis, and sore throat. Aids the body in expelling excess fluid and mucus. Parsley leaf, good for high blood pressure, kidney disease, bedwetting, fluid retention, gas halitosis, indigestion, obesity, prostate disorders. It helps the kidney, bladder, liver, lung, stomach, and thyroid functions. That's parsley leaf. Golden seal root, its numerous uses are attributed to its antibiotic, anti-inflammatory, and astringent properties. The action of this herb goes directly to the bloodstream and helps regulate the liver functions. It's a potential antibiotic and one of the best infection fighters. It can be used for many illnesses and ranks high as one of the best general medicinal aids in the herbal kingdom. Gravel root combats prostate disorders, kidney stones, and problems related to fluid retention. Acts as a diuretic and urinary tract tonic. Powerful formulas, these. Now, when it comes to, I just want to mention this. If you're suffering getting up through the night too many times, urgency, to go to the bathroom, leaking. We're meant to go 8 or 9 times a day. We're meant to urinate 8 or 9 times in 24 hours. So if you're doing it 15 times, that's not the way it's supposed to be. If you're up 4 times through the night, not the way it's supposed to be. Um, and what the bladder, as I said, the bladder, kidney, and prostate formula for men each have amongst their ingredients the golden seal root. Bacteria grows back quickest in those parts of our body, probably because they're always wet. They're handling our urinary tract, our urine, and so forth. Excuse me. It's stubborn. They're the hardest 3 parts of a man's body, 2 parts of a woman's body to accept help is the bladder and the kidneys, and in men, the prostate. Urinary tract infections, try the Strauss bladder formula. If you're not satisfied, in other words, if you don't get rid of it, you get your money back. Um, the downside, it's not a downside, but what I always worry about is that in the bladder, kidney, and prostate formulas, people will get some results on their symptoms within 7 days. I promise you. I promise you. It can be as quick as a day, 3 doses, that you notice a difference with the prostate, with your urine flow, urinary tract infection. You'll definitely notice a difference in 1 week. But please, I urge people all the time, finish the job. I just told you the bacteria grows back quickly in these parts of our body. So finish the job and take it for a minimum 3 months. You don't want to be continuously pestered with these irritating urinary tract infections. Horrible. The Immune Plus, very powerful. Should really only take it 10 or 12, maximum 14 days at a time. Powerful ingredients: myrrh gum, golden seal root, and cayenne. Powerful. And it certainly works. Then the 2 ladies formulas before we wrap up that I'm so happy that we have back. The Woman's Wonder, that's for difficulties during the menstrual cycle, bloating, cramping. Some ladies and teens really suffer with this. Well, suffer no more. Taken just 3 days a month, our Woman's Wonder, we guarantee your satisfaction. I've yet to hear of a woman or a young lady or teen that needs to take it more than 3 months. I've never heard that anybody has needed a second bottle. Some took it 1 month and had these symptoms so reduced that they didn't need it any longer. I know how bad it can, I don't know personally how bad it can be, but I know that I've learned it can be very uncomfortable. Store managers and owners were telling us that some of their girls or one of their girls would miss work a day or two a month, miss school. You don't have to. Strauss Woman's Wonder for all the unpleasantness during the menstrual cycle. Last but not least, the Strauss Menopause Formula. 20 herbs: blue cohosh root, black cohosh root, pennyroyal herb, squaw vine herb, raspberry leaf, cramp bark, uva ursi leaf, valerian root, lady slipper root, ginseng root, ginger root, bayberry bark, lady's mantle herb, saffron flower, periwinkle herb, Don K root, blessed thistle, false unicorn root, sarsaparilla root, damiana leaf, licorice root, and lobelia. There is no other formula on the market so extensive as the Strauss Menopause Formula. And again, the same guarantee applies. Relief from some of the night sweats, the hot flashes that are just terrible. I know from talking to ladies. You will get relief with the Strauss Menopause Formula. Unfortunately, what we found is that you do have to keep taking it for as long as you suffer those kinds of symptoms, and including mood swings. But those hot flashes and night sweats can just be horrible. And we say this is the answer. You can't go wrong. It's safe and 100% natural. So if anybody has any questions, I'm sorry, I'm 4 minutes. I've run over time right now, but I don't mind. If there are more questions, please don't hesitate. I did put in my email address and the Strauss toll-free telephone number. We've got great ladies as customer service reps. If you want to communicate with me, you have the email address. I answer everyone. And again, I thank you for joining me and taking the time to be a part of your own health. You know, our health is our wealth and the wealth of those who care about us and love us. And so there really is nothing more important. And I know we have doctors and so forth, but I really wish people would be a bigger part of their own health. And I wish that people would do more for prevention than just having to act once disease or illness strikes. My email address is just above that last your question, Christine. And you are most welcome, folks. I'm so happy that you joined me today. And I hope you give it to yourself today. If you're not already taking Strauss formulas, I do hope you give it to yourself, because I want everyone to have what I got, which was painless, economical, return to health in every way. And I just wish that for everyone. I know people suffer a great deal. So thanks again for joining. You can join anytime. I won't get tired of you. You might get tired of me, but please do join anytime. You're always welcome. And look after yourselves. If you are on any pharmaceuticals, like so many people are, please read your paperwork thoroughly. Read your paperwork thoroughly and where you want to focus. And research, you can Google as well, is the serious potential side effects. Why is that important for you to know? Well, if you're suffering one of them or more than one, you want to talk to your doctor, and he or she might change your dosage. They might change it to another pill, but don't not know and be suffering and potentially hurt yourself worse. So that's the most important thing about your drugs, if you're taking any, is learn the potential side effects so that you'll know if it's happening to you. And otherwise, I hope to see you again, and I wish you all the best of health and happiness. So it's a lot easier to be happy when you're healthy. Like our friend Lisa there, feeling good at 85 or 6. That's wonderful. It's wonderful. Life can be great if you're healthy. When we're unhealthy and sickly, it's not so good. So do what you can for yourself, folks, and I hope to see y'all again. I'm going to try and figure out how to finish this now, because the one thing I know very little about is this technical stuff. So God bless, folks. Till next time. Bye.